In this lesson, we'll explore the advantages of using the manual style application mode along with the style application toolbar to modify and create new CSS rules inside of your page. By default, style application mode is set to auto, which means that Expression Web determines which CSS rules to modify when you make a change to a selected piece of text. It also determines how to create new CSS styles when formatting is applied to a selected piece of content. In manual style application mode, we have that control to decide exactly when and where we want to modify an existing rule or how we want to create new rules or add properties. To begin, at the bottom of the workspace, locate where it reads Style Application Auto in the information bar and double-click. This opens up the Style Application toolbar. We're going to set our style application mode from auto to manual by clicking the drop-down menu on the left side of the toolbar and selecting manual. What we'll see here is that a target rule drop-down appears as well as two option buttons on the right, Reuse Properties and Show Overlay. First, let's look at Show Overlay. Show Overlay toggles a visual aid, which allows us to see when a selected item has a CSS rule applied. For instance, if I click inside the line that reads the history of the guitar, a shaded dotted box appears around the selection. This is because a CSS rule called Big Headline is applied to this specific piece of text. If I go over to the Show Overlay button and click it again, this visual aid disappears. The Reuse Properties button allows us to control whether an existing style has a property added to it, if we happen to, for instance, add a color, or if it should look for a style that's already applied that already has the same property. First, I'm going to click inside the first paragraph here, and you'll see that under Target Rule it reads P. This is because there's a P tag selector applied to this page, which sets the formatting for all paragraphs. From here, any changes I make using any of the toolbar options will modify the P tag selector because it's shown here. If I click on this, I could also determine that I want to create a new rule, either as a new class selector or a new inline style. But in this case, I want this applied to all paragraphs on my page, so I'm going to leave P selected as my target rule. And I'm going to go up top, and under default size, I'm going to change that to small. And you'll see that changes the text size for all paragraphs in my page. Now, if I want to make a more specific change, for instance, I want to create a color change on one specific paragraph or a size change, I'm going to click and select the text in this paragraph. You'll notice now the target rule reads automatic. This means that Expression Web will create a new CSS selector from any properties I choose from the various toolbars and give it a generic name. I also have control to open up the New Style dialog box, and from here I can control exactly what name is assigned and what properties are assigned. For now, I'm going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to leave Target Rule set to automatic. From the toolbar on top, I'm going to change the font size to large, and I'm also going to change the text color to maroon. You'll see now that it applies this only to this selected text, and it's created a new class selector called Style1, which also appears in our Apply Styles task pane. Now from this point, if I decide I want to make any further changes, even if I reselect this specific paragraph, which will cause Target Rule to show up as the new Style1 selector, I still can click on this drop-down and tell it to use or modify the P tag selector instead. From here, I'm going to set Target Rule to P, and I'm going to click on the bold button up top, and you'll see this applies boldface not just to this paragraph, but to all paragraphs in my page. This is because I've modified the existing P tag selector. Now if I decide I want to go back and change the color of this first paragraph again, all I need to do is under Target Rule, set it back to Style1, change the color, and you'll see the color is applied only to that paragraph and not to all paragraphs in my page.